She was big. I didn't even know pigs could get that big. And although I could see for myself the astounding girth of her, I had no way of wrapping my head around the sheer physical reality of such a weight until the mechanical hand that had lifted the dead old sow up out of the concrete bath of scalding water accidentally dropped her from 5 feet high onto the hard, cold concrete floor. It wasn't a thud exactly, it was more of a ripple, a reverberating ripple of fat and skin and bone. Her heart was still in there too, though no longer beating. So were her kidneys, her spleen, her lungs, her gallbladder, her small and large intestines, and everything else that had once made her alive but now made her a very heavy carcass on the floor. Without flinching, several men in dark blue coveralls scrambled over to her body and attempted to push her back into the mechanical hand. As if this were actually possible. It most certainly was not. "She's 300 kilos, too big," Mark Chapelard, who along with his 3 brothers had agreed to mentor me in the French ways of knife and bone, told Kate, my American translator and host, who told me. I did the math. Almost 700 pounds. Just minutes before this pig carcass had accidentally fallen to the floor, a tall, thin, older gentleman, also in coveralls, had escorted the live sow through a wooden chute. As I watched her slowly make her way, she had so much body to move. Mark explained that she was done having babies and was going to be turned into sausage. Another man then secured what looked like a set of headphones onto the sow's head. "Are they going to play her music?" I asked, in all seriousness. No one answered me. Then, with the meaty part of his palm, the man pressed a big red button on the wall, which sent a quick electrical current coursing through the headphones and into the skin and the subcutaneous fat and the bone and then the brain of the 700-pound mama, who dropped to the floor and began convulsing. This felt to me like a private moment that I shouldn't be allowed to witness, these last shudders of life, this battle waged by her body's nervous system. But I did not turn away. I was here to learn, after all. I was here to do something hard and real. I wasn't interested in wasting any more time pretending that what was unfolding in front of me wasn't really happening. I'd spent the last 10 years of my life doing that, and I was determined never to go down that road again. But words like hard and easy didn't seem to apply here. To the people working in this abattoir, to my French mentors raising pigs and butchering them back at the farm, this scene, would they even call it a scene, was quite simply work. Life, death, work. So I kept watching. "That makes her senseless to pain," Mark told Kate, who told me. "This was the most humane way to kill a pig," he said. "Sever all communication between the brain and the nervous system as quickly and painlessly as possible." "She's not dead yet?" I asked. "No," Mark told Kate, who told me. "She's unconscious. She won't be dead until they bleed her." When I looked back, another man had hoisted the pig up by way of a chain wrapped around her back leg. He stuck a long knife into the space between the sow's throat and where I imagined her heart to be. "She can't feel this," Mark said in French, Kate translating. "If we didn't stun her first, she would feel it." A woman held a plastic container underneath the sow to collect the blood. We all watched in silence as she rhythmically stirred the blood to keep it from coagulating. Time slowed to that rhythm. My brain slowed to that rhythm. My breath slowed to that rhythm. It was nowhere near a lullaby, but something in this woman's focus, in her unwavering attention to this one small detail, something in the stillness of her face almost soothed me. Almost. But as I looked from the woman's face to the sow's now lifeless visage, I flashed upon an utterly inappropriate metaphor, one that linked the dead 700-pound sow to the very much alive 130-pound me. This sow, I thought, had spent her entire adult life doing her job well. Her job was to make babies, lots of them. Babies that could then be turned into food for our tables. And then, one day, someone had deemed her no longer useful. And just like that, her job had ended. Hence the headphones and the electric shock and the blood. At least she could still be used for sausage. I'd spent my entire adult life doing my job well, too, although it didn't have anything to do with making babies for the dinner table. And then, one day, just a few short months ago, someone had deemed me no longer useful, and my job had also ended. It had all happened so fast. Given the way things had gone in my life recently, I felt like I was the one who had just been dropped from a 5-foot height onto a hard, cold concrete floor. But of course, I hadn't. Of course, I still had blood pulsing through me, and this sow didn't have any. She couldn't feel anything anymore, but I could. And I knew that, in my attempt to relate my narrative to hers, I was only distancing myself from what was actually happening in front of me, the transformation of life into death, into food.